Try to speak up.
All right. I went into McDonald's. There was a guy and a 6-year-old girl in front of me, right? She wanted a Happy Meal. He said, you're getting a cheeseburger, fry, and Coke. And all the thing the little girl did was, and he punched her in the face, knocked her down. She had a knot coming up. When I didn't do anything right away, but he went to hit her again, I grabbed him. When I grabbed him and spun him around, I'm like, hey, buddy. His friend grabbed me and jumped me. The three of us got into a fight. He wound up with a compound fracture. The other guy wound up with a broke nose and a broke arm. When the police and the ambulance came and everything, they said he never touched me. When I grabbed him, I became the aggressor. I did 10 years for that, for assault intent, assault with bodily injury. They sued me and they got damages and everything, personal damages. The law is you can't touch nobody. I became the aggressor when I grabbed him. When we went to court and they showed the video, they started the video with me grabbing him and spinning him around because the state filed a separate charge and she was a minor on him, so it couldn't be admissible in court. Now, protecting a child, I did 10 years because the law is the law. You can't touch nobody.
Wow. Wow, you just helped them too. And what's your name again?
Mac.
Where are you from?
I'm from Miami. I'm 73 years old. I've been down here for 55 years.
What's your favorite thing about life?
Freedom now. Yeah.
How does it feel to be free?
I've never been in trouble before. I'm a veteran. Next month, I get my military and my Social Security benefits back. But until then, I'm surviving day to day. Listen, have you ever watched TV and people are saying, how come nobody's doing nothing? You can't. You can't, because once you grab somebody, you get charged with assault.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you have to be careful. I mean, I know the law is there for reasons, but sometimes there's got to be variances. I protected a child, The social worker said that he had been accused 2 other times. He was a single parent, but she couldn't prove it. This time they had it on video.
Yeah. Well, Mac, man, it's an amazing story, and I wish nothing but the absolute best.
So I just want to highlight this specifically to a lot of the women directly out there, and especially to a lot of those guys that want to call a lot of dudes out here scary and all this other type of stuff and whatnot or whatever. This guy explained the fact that he saw in the restaurant that he was in McDonald's, the little girl asked a simple question to the father. The father, being the abusive nut job that he is, decided that he wanted to take a swing directly at his daughter. And dude sat up there and contemplated. He stood there for a minute. He was like, all right, got you. So the father went to go do it again, and this is when the guy sat up there and called him and stopped him, and a big brouhaha basically took place. And even though he was there defending that young girl because the father was going to strike her again, in the courts, they cut the video only at the part where the man grabbed the father, and then the fight started, pinning him to be the villain, pinning him to be the criminal, pinning him to be the aggressor. So what I'm going to say to a lot of other folks, I'm going to make this very specific. Let me just tie this down real quick. That's a white man at the end of the day, and the system failed him and took 10 years away from his life because he wanted to defend a child. If a black man decided that he wanted to do this for a child or for a woman out here, what do you think is going to sit up there and happen to him? I can sit up there and tell you. Number one, within that circumstance, it's going to be life or death anyway. And if life or death doesn't happen there, then it's going to be life and death when it deals with the court system or when it deals with the police. Any which way it goes, you're looking at the potentiality of you as a black man, of your life being taken, no matter how it is that you meant to go out there and protect somebody that could not specifically protect themselves. And a lot of women don't understand this because a lot of women don't have to worry about this. A lot of women out here don't have stories where they got homegirls and moms and and aunts and this, that, and the third, where, their family, the women in their family were locked up because they were defending a young boy or a man directly out here. They don't got hundreds of thousands of millions of stories like that. They don't got those. Women don't have to worry about that because the courts, realistically, in a sense, don't actually care about women like that. If they do commit a violent act, they care more about men. Right? Because as people said, men are the danger, men are the danger, men are the danger. Right? Even when men are not the danger, they still get treated as the danger. So, like I said before, I don't care if people disagree with me. I don't care if people want to sit up, man, you just making up excuses, you just a coward and this, that, and the third and whatnot or whatever. All I'm saying at the end of the day is that man was gone for 10 years. 10 years of his life was ripped away from him because of the way that they wanted to frame this story. Who were the people taking care of that man for 10 years? Where are the women that always say that they admire and they respect stand-up dudes? Where were those women to put money directly on this man's books to make sure that he was getting taken care of? Where were those groups out there to make sure that nothing nefarious wouldn't even be the word, nothing detrimental took place to him in prison or in jail, wherever it is that he was locked up? Where were all of those people? Where are all of those groups? I promise you, non-existent, nowhere to be found. And there's many more stories just like this man's story directly out there, but do you think that a lot of women will talk about those stories? No. Do you think that they'll bring those up? No. Like I said, men will sacrifice their lives for a multitude of reasons out here, and it's a thankless job. It is a very thankless job at the end of the day, and nobody cares. Like I said, you might have some people out here that be like, it's good that he, set up. They'll care for like maybe about a good 5 seconds, and then everybody else will go back to business as usual. And it's like, at the end of the day, it's like, was it in a sense really worth it? And I know that may sound a little bit bad to say, but you got to think about it like this. That man had 10 years locked up in prison. No telling what he's seen, what he's had to protect himself from, what he's had to specifically fight off. No telling, right? Because again, we're dealing with jail, we're dealing with prison, we're dealing with a variety of people that are locked up for, life, right? So they don't care. They'll just decide to do anything because it's like, what they're going to do, add another 230 years to my sentence? They don't care, right? This man has a strict 10 years, and after that, he is pretty much free. But again, like I said before, while he was locked up for those 10 years, what did the court system do for that little girl? What happened to her? What more things did she have to specifically go through with that father? Matter of fact, is she even alive at this moment in time? It'd have been different if the end result was like, all right, this dude got 10 years and then, the girl got taken out of her home and she was placed with a family that was nurturing, that was loving, that was caring, that was protective. But we all know that that's normally not the case. That normally that's not what's going to sit up there and happen. This is why in a lot of instances, a lot of men have to calculate how it is that they act and move again, a lot of women don't have to worry about this because they're not automatically in a life or death situation, dealing with the court system, dealing with the police, being directly, in fights, and you're there trying to protect somebody else. That's not how life works. Again, men normally fight. Right. So these are the battles that men normally have to, take on, normally have to deal with. Technically, even since we're born, these are the fights and battles that we have to sit up there and grow up with. Right. But again, as bad as it seems, was it actually worth it? Because nobody knows what happened to that young girl. Nobody knows what her life is at this moment in time. Nobody even knows if she's even alive. And that man lost 10 years of his life. And the most that people can sit up there and say to that man is like, well, I respect him for what it is that he did. 10 years of his life. No telling what he could have done, done within those 10 years. No telling the family that he would have started. right? He could have been potentially married if he wasn't already married, or however it is that it worked. He could have potentially found his soulmate. 10 years erased out of his life. Gone. All to be painted the villain when really he was the savior. But anyways, let me know what you guys think about this video and everything that I stated in the comment description below. And as always, peace, love, and stay tuned for the next video.